Hello. So I just started a new commentary. All right. So yeah, the first stream is coming up now. Yeah. Sorry for that. It's just because, as you probably might hear, I'm watching this film on a DVD player. Hence the noise. Sorry if that was a bit too close. Okay. Yeah. So we're in the film immediately. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I thought this could be a rather fun film to watch because yeah, we already understand what this scene is about. Oh, gonna put subtitles on. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this was so yeah, just a quick thing about my experience with this film. So strangely enough, I wasn't keen on it at first, but after many rewatches, I seem to have enjoyed it way more. There's something quite endearing about this whole film. So anyway, yeah, for the first time it's on the DVD player, and we're pretty much gone into the film immediately. Okay, so yeah, this is set in the past, and it's a George Michael track, and yeah, it's a bit of a Christmas theme in there already, especially with the church area, and yeah, I say quite interesting for a church to sing a George Michael song. Normally they do hymns, etc., but yeah, I guess it depends what kind of service it is. Anyway, so here's the present. Yeah, she does really take it seriously at first, although yeah, it still doesn't because how much would that have cost her, to play the same song? Was he? Both George and Mum were quite successful and popular. Yeah. So yeah, I think conversations like these do really showcase how their characters talk with one another. Like there's a yeah, it's something like really like stands out about the dialogue. Anyway, so she's settled in, and yeah, later on, you do get to see what kind of lifestyle she has. Well, part of it, yeah, she, um, yeah. I wonder if this is like her first warm shower in a long time. Not sure. Yeah, nice try. Yeah, where's the plumbing tools? She doesn't even know his name either. Not to mention the. Oh yeah, yeah. Does that mean that she would have like quickly like got changed and then started to be like thrown out? Um, yeah, because otherwise she would have been thrown out with just a towel. Yeah, them two are probably split up, and she probably feels responsible. And um, yeah, her makeup was just running off, so it looks like she slept with the makeup. To which, okay, yeah, yeah, I guess it just depends all sorts. It's just because I always thought makeup's removed while sleeping, but if the makeup doesn't not bother you while sleeping, then fair enough. Anyway, so this is where she's currently at. So she's in London, isn't she? And when what she was saying as she was getting kicked out, yeah. So I don't think she's enjoying her life really at the moment, and yeah, not very reactionary, not really bothered about much. Yeah. How many times does this song play? One, two, three, four. yeah, including like a couple of remixes. I guess we'll wait and see. Yeah, I'll try and keep like a counter in my head. Okay, no, there's that as well, so that's 5 overall throughout the film. Yeah, trying to put on a positive mindset. Yeah, which is hard to do. Yeah, because yeah, I can talk from experience. So her boss seems to be aware. So yeah, this is just like the first hint of her accidentally disappointing people, and makes it hard for her to stay elsewhere. Although, as oh yeah, I'm gonna treat you as a first time viewer. I think, yeah, for this one. Yeah, if you've not seen it, I don't know what platform you would find it on, but it's there regardless. Anyway, so you get to see what she's like within a job, and I think she does put on a facade. So yeah, that's her sister, and yeah, yeah, that must be important because you don't really put people out of jobs like that. And oh, she took it literally. Okay, so I can see how that's a bother, but is that worth taking her out to work? So how she shortens the name, that also, could give us a hint of um, how she wants to be like a certain someone, or how she's not herself. We'll see how that plays over time. How many people? If the yeah, we'll call her Santa. Like if she's talking about her shop and worker in that manner, does that mean like the group of people are on a bus tour or something? Being sharing the shop in that manner? Yeah, it's just something I've never seen before. Anyway, so I think at first glance you're just like wondering what he's up to, and I think Kate is probably yeah, we'll call her Kate. Um, yeah, I think she's just a bit bored. Yeah, I think she's done all the dusting, and oh yeah, not to mention, yeah, he would have yeah, Thomas, his name. Yeah, I think he might have like just appeared. That could have like puzzled Kate as well. Yeah, so I'm surprised Sarai is fine afterwards. And yeah, Santa's not impressed because no, the door's too small. I don't think any birds would come in. Yeah, her going outside is no, outside is not good for business. And then yeah, definitely an anti-phone policy. But yeah, she's found somewhere else to settle, so that's good for her. And that gives us some idea of what she thinks of her mum. Did he just like appear again? So this is like their own universe's version of Tinder, I suppose. Yeah, because also you find out more about Tom later on, but at this point, he just seems to be just commenting to ask her out, to which yeah, the competence is good. Yeah, sorry if I'm talking at a funny angle, by the way. Yeah, so yeah, I think she has enough going on. So, oh my gosh, I just suddenly realised. So the bloke would have thought that he was the one being talked to. See, I think that would have puzzled her as well. Although there's no like camera shots indicating that he was like listening. Oh, he might have left in his own time. Anyway, I do like this running gag. So yeah, they see what them two are like with one another. Because Sandra was just like all blasé, and then to be like, oh, it's him again. Yeah, just pick up the nearest thing near you. Yeah, probably like definitely a different version. Yeah, not to mention I was meaning to do a I can't really quite find the words for it right now, but I was going to make some kind of joke about her because it's this actress from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I could like I was about to say, oh, which like incarnation is this one? Yeah, imagine if Everything Everywhere All at Once did like and make a reference to it, like in a flicker. I haven't seen that film by the way, but I've heard good things. And then yeah, not to mention this kind of shows off what kind of items are in the store. And yeah, and I think those kind of lines to kind of show that yeah, they do eventually get past this first stage, because yeah, I don't think they know what to say with one another. Oh yeah, one of my favourite moments is coming up. So yeah, she too puts on a facade as well. Yeah. Because yeah, not to mention, where Kate was being criticised for being like, oh, don't flirt with the customers, but Santa as someone that she likes and gets distracted with. Yeah, that's quite an assumption. Oh, is that him coming back? Yeah. Okay, so she gets given that kind of responsibility for the store. But yeah, that kind of normality would have gone away from her head, because if this audition's like a one-off day thing and she's late for it, then of course she would forget to lock up in that. What's her mileage at the moment? Like 25 miles per hour, maybe? Oh, there you go. She made it just before the sun takes away. She's fine. She's made it. Yeah. So yeah, they're just going through auditions, and yeah. So this is like another aspect to Kate. So she's going through these auditions, hopefully to star in something rather good. But as we later find out, she has her love of music that does carry through into something that's very purposeful, but she hasn't quite made the day yet. So yeah, maybe time, but yeah, an audition only takes a few minutes, and so there's speakers leave before the sign outside. Fair enough. Well, if you are told what the the time is, close time is, then yeah, it's you're not not Kate's fault. Oh yeah, because her reminder says 6. Oh, was she going her time slot? Oh no, they don't really know she was um she was coming. I don't think so. That's, that's a bit harsh and a bit informal as well. Especially if they're trying to get candidates for the production. A delivery. Okay. um, so yeah, yeah, the Christmas store is definitely temporary. But yeah, this is like the first time they probably get to hang around. But she's yeah, they're just kind of chatting away. Yeah, why did he repeat that joke? Oh okay, just to be funny. Okay, probably not the best hiding spot, but at least she doesn't have to swap much. Yeah, if she's in rush, I suppose. Yeah, it's not a bad idea because it's a an area with a couple of right angles, I suppose. Yeah, imagine in the future you could just take shoes on and off like that. Granted, those are just like exo shoes, perhaps, but yeah, that would be make things easier. Is that true? That's quite an odd line to say, but even he's a bit um, like put off by it. But obviously, he's not. He has. He just seems really friendly so far, and yeah, that's also like quite a common thing. You do just wander around these places daily and just start to point out new things and be like, oh yeah, of course I didn't notice that. Yeah, it's happened to me a good few times. Nope. That was quite a fall. Yeah. Have you ever? I'm not sure if you've ever seen Sierra Burgess is a loser on Netflix. Like the way she flips over as well is like done so realistically and sudden, and I think that just kind of reminds me of that. Oh, hang on, I just said the previous comment in the wrong spot, so that's why she's like, oh, so that's what that was. But yeah, she's been given almost like a tour. Because I say, yeah, they would normally talk about all sorts, but instead he's like, oh, this place and this place, and then he introduces possibly one of the most important locations in the film. Probably one of them. Well, yeah, it's a nice area. So yeah, it's a place that's where everyone has a whole heap of space. 748, that's a lot. Fair enough. Although you should always have your phone calls off a bit. Just with to yourself rather. Yeah, giving a call to herself. So yeah, because she definitely doesn't see Tom as that as fitting that role so far, um, But yeah, there is like a part of her that would like to find someone, and yeah, and despite a collection of like funny back and forth and occasionally being like sarcastic with one another, yeah, it's these kind of following moments which where they do kind of have a heart to heart from time to time. And yeah, it's just other set up later on, and not gonna lie, just reminds me of Cobra Kai Johnny Lawrence. He just leaves his mobile phone in the house because of how he was like stuck in the past, or used to. How long has the bus been there? It's getting on to about 30 seconds. Yeah, you can't keep them waiting like that. Yeah, also keep that in mind because if I remember, I would like to, just think of this scene from a different angle. Um, oh wow, she's made it to the back rather quickly. So, it's quite endearing. And yeah, so they've kind of connected in some way, which is, yeah, they just kind of found like just a very nice companion with one another. Now, I don't know that actress' name, but she's in Red Notice and Paris Has Fallen and a couple of other things. But yeah, she's because I don't know how new she is to acting, but she's been rather good so far. So yeah, oh yeah, of course, the long time mates, but I think they have been mates for a very long time. Now, the husband there, if they're married, is this a hobby or part of a job? Yeah, so she's not the best with interacting with other people's flats. She makes it too much at home. Oh, it's okay. I think that's like an instance of, or is this what you're referring to? And then she gives us a very detailed update. The mate. Yeah, what's the mate called again? Yeah. So yeah, this is a 12, and far as I can remember, because in my college we've learned about the BBFC system, and because whilst there is like a lot of language in this, there's no other activity, violence, etc. So it has like the allowance of having these multiple swear words and just keeping it at that 12 age rating level, which yeah, there's something interesting about it. Okay, and okay, it's still the night. How long has she slept? It's not. Yeah, I personally don't like sleeping in the middle of the day. It's just I high off my routine. But why did she fall asleep? Oh, I suppose it's like later in the night, perhaps. But them two had just started eating, so yeah, maybe it's just a lot of work. Or it could be down to her current medical status, I suppose you could call it. Oh, I see. Yeah, that goes as the first hint of that. Oh, oh, she was only trying to light the candle. I just saw it just then very quickly on the table. Okay, so not only does she settle at other men's homes and flats, etc., but she seems to bringing them along as well. Yeah, surprisingly, they didn't hear that. Unless, oh well, I think they'll just keep it quiet about it because they're like, why did you bring him in here? Well, at least she had a bit of a sleep earlier. Oh no! They're both in disbelief. Oh yeah, because they were like, oh, if she does like one bad thing, then yeah, she's out. And despite being a very simple thing, yeah, because if your hobbies take a lot of time, and if they do mean something grander, then yeah, I can sort of see why Kate would have had to leave, especially when she's wrecked something before. Anyway, so she's not locked the area, and so at first glance, it just looks like, oh yeah, I think a couple of things might have been um, taken. Um, I think that's the only time. Well, actually, no, many flashbacks to use, but this is, of course, a much more one that's happened nearby. Oh yeah, this is nearby. Just not that long ago, I suppose. Anyway, this is quite a long shot. This is about. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got okay. Fair enough. So you'll later find out that yeah, Santa just doesn't really want to think about it, just get it all sorted. And then this, what she says right here, talks about how Kate was very good at her job at first, and then she's just starting to lose her performance. Although, how long has she been at this job? Has it been since she's moved to London, or um, I'll say now because she had an operation. Did the operation happen in between her employment here? And I feel like that's the theme. Chances, second chances almost. And this is almost like the first second chance she's been given. But it's yeah, she's gonna have to do well to make up for Santa because she seems to be her only co-worker, as it seems. Yeah, not to mention, in a store like that, would she get the money from the items, or does she get paid by another company of some sort, but still gather money in the till? And then that's him, thinking, oh, maybe I should go after her, but he doesn't seem to be very confident. Even if Santa's awake, I think he still could have gone after her. And that did spark an idea in Kate's head, but she's going to postpone that because Tom's about again. She does have her parents' home, but for various reasons, she wants to avoid it there. Yeah, that's I think that's definitely a thought you would have up. Why not live with the parents or even the sister for the time being? And there are reasons later on. As in YouTube, Bono. I find the outskirts, isn't it? I think. I think he might have been like a bit bothered about that comment, or maybe just having a sense of, oh, okay, yeah, she's not quite happy again. Yeah, because even yeah, Tom's just pointing out how yeah, she doesn't seem to take anything seriously, and she doesn't really have a moment of, oh really, is that what you like doing? She seems to be like the opposite. But later, throughout the film, she later on learns to start to care a bit more. And not to mention, what she um, um, what she's been eating right there. I think that's what she's been eating the most, hasn't she? Like the takeaways and that. Yeah, that does get brought up a couple of times. Yeah, and also at first glance, you just you think, oh, she's just mouthing off to the driver, but no, that's her dad. Oh yeah, of course you would most likely remember because the first scene. So yeah, she's just questioning how she got um, to where she's at in the first place. And I think we do learn more about that. And not to mention, it looks like they all get on as a family. We only see them together in the church gathering. They all seem happy and watching Kate perform. Must be really nice. But that looks like there has been a whole heap of events which has made them all distant. Um, but in the end of the film, they do get on again, and it's all thanks to Kate. Yeah, that reminds me of another shot. Where you think, oh, is it this house? But it turns out it's the other. Yeah, it's almost like a small gag, and I think it also shows. I don't think they have like the time or the money to afford decorations. Too keen to go inside. Wait, did Kate say her phone was broken? That was just okay. Okay, so the mum likes to use social media. Fair enough. And she notices how absent the husband is. Yeah, and not to mention, you can see various bits and bobs in Kate's room. That tell her a bit more. There's a music speaker and of course George Michael poster. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's where if you later find out that the mum likes to sing, and but not to mention Kate isn't keen on those songs, as you find out later on. Because at first she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll be resting," but then she opens, just opens her eyes right then, and I think that just also goes back to how she almost wants to forget about the past, or at least try to be someone that she's not. Yeah, I think the mother would say, "Oh, the quote's going up. Maybe I should stop singing." I could see something like that happening. How does the mum know she's been eating rubbish? Not literal, just slightly unhealthy. Yeah, they're both saying the exact opposite. Yeah, I think that's where you have to come to like a mutual decision or a mutual conclusion. Just make sure that just as the doctor's saying. I think I have a few guesses for why she might have a sleeping problem. Yeah, when Kate wants to leave. Oh yeah, these appointments are. Oh yeah, the doctor just said a month. So yeah, these are uh, almost regular checks every now and again. Yeah, because we'll find out. Later find out what the point of her operation was. Because she seems to be functioning okay, but she's not looking after herself properly, and you do get to see a good few hints of that already. Yeah. And Tom seems to appear whenever she's feeling down, to which it's a pattern right now, although, yeah, we'll keep that in mind. Yeah. And it looks like she hasn't yet found that moment of making up for Santa yet. Oh, what's in there? Oh, it's a collection of baubles, that's it. Yeah, of course, because they hang the tree up. Hang the tree up? No, hang things on the tree. Oh, okay, so there's that kind of connection. Yeah, that I don't know an awful lot about, but that would have most likely happened before I was born, or yeah, I reckon it happened around that time. So yeah, that's where we do learn more about her family, and I think at this point she's just a bit put off by how much Tom seems to be listening. So I think she's used to not being like listened to, or in that like that much. So and that's why she just goes back to you know more of her. I guess going back to that facade of hers. So that already shows because even though she's the looks like the operation has um, you know it's gone well, although it seems to have some effects later on, effects that's affected her and her family members. All right, so what else does this store um, sell? Yeah, I wonder what type of material that is. Yeah, I think that's the third time the title track is played. And that's the first time the line is said. Yeah, you'll see what that line means. Yeah, is that no, I don't, it's at Emilia Clarke's true age. I feel like she's a bit older, but she does look 26 here. I would say. Yeah, you'll see later on. But yeah, Tom has not forgotten about something, and so he fancies helping Kate with a certain thing. Yeah, climbing is not her forte. I think the most experience she's had is a playground at this point. Well, a playground that she clearly hasn't been to for a very long time. Yeah, I think any of us stopped going to playgrounds way before we were 20. Yeah, because last time I've been to one, I was just sat on a bench nearby. So it's a bit of a likes to reference pop culture every now and again, which we don't see an awful lot of later on. Yeah. Also, just worth mentioning, this film has kind of made me like George Michael more, especially with the music. And so yeah, she's um the Ellen Skate. Oh yeah, for if my Cobra Kai commentary is around yet, I did reference this scene because it was similar to when Johnny Miguel went to a pool to practice um well using your legs, I suppose, and yeah, and they do later on get kicked out, but not much consequence afterwards. Yeah, it's like a weird thing because you're interacting with, something that the building embodies, and yet you don't really get into trouble. Well, I think a break would have to be a lot more serious. So yeah, it looks like Tom must have had an interest in skating, or is he like very sporty? And that's the closest they've been with one another. Oh, I think it nearly happened, but then, yeah, if they're leaving, then yeah, it's fine. Yeah, no charges. Yeah, I think he must be like one of the security guards that like just sits around the building, make sure nobody gets in. Because I think a building like that would be quite expensive. Yeah, it's, in actuality, if auditions like that could definitely work for for what she wants to do. Singing in shows and that. Ah, that was a look right there. Um, yeah, because we get a couple of those glimpses um, um, where he's thinking, oh, is this probably going too far, or should I tell her at this point? Something that he knows but she doesn't know. Yeah. And Kate nearly, helped, the bloke earlier, although I think she's definitely going to make more of an effort in that regard. Although, as you see later on, she tries to go all in a job. Oh, yeah, right there. Although, not to meant, yeah, not gonna lie, she's. Oh, okay, I thought she was going to like constantly interrupt Santa there, but well, it looks like everything's well organised. You can see that she's trying, and I think Tom has already made her feel better about herself. Yeah, yeah, she just seemed to be a bit more joyful. Yeah, I reckon Santa would be like, "Oh, who would it be?" And then yeah, I think that from that look right there, that she's like, "Oh, she's helped bring him in for me," and yeah, that's really nice for Kate to do. So yeah, they are starting to actually have a conversation because you last time they just really stuck with what to say, but to actually chat about a specific thing, that's definitely progress between them, and yeah, she feels a bit more happier about herself then, and yeah, auditions already kind of going well, and um, yeah, so it's um, yeah, because she's had practice, and it usually looks like she has a good chance in succeeding this audition. Why that clothing? That must be cold because the ice emits a lot of cold, doesn't it? Oh, surely she would still be considered. If if she's already had practice and like other uh, those who went for the audition, unless there has been people after her who end up being better skaters. Because I feel like it would be harsh for her to lose the audition just because of that slip. But I think what I've just inferred, I think that is likely. Oh, what was happening outside? Um, hmm. Yeah, so Kate seems to um, know how to present yourself at the right level. Because yeah, I don't think Tan's been on a date for a long time. You can assume. Oh yeah, and those lashes are most likely wasted, unless they're reusable. I don't know. Yeah, if there's dozens of YouTubers, Instagram people, TikTok people, they will tell you all sorts about these lashes. Yeah, there's so many of them nowadays. You'll get it eventually. Yeah, yeah. In the commentary, I'm just going to refer to him as the bloke, unless I'll keep that in mind. Oh yeah, so she finally knows her real name, and she goes through not only her other occupations but the other nicknames. In my first watch through, that was probably the thing that made me laugh the most. I think that's where I had like the biggest laughter in the cinema. And not to mention, I feel like thanks to Kate helping out Santa, they're starting to chat a bit more like mates, which is already very nice. And so yeah, so she is a bit oh yeah, that's given Kate a thought. And oh, okay, yeah, that's making a think to go there. But yeah, you'll find out later on, and also just from that small exchange earlier with Santa, where the way Tom goes in and out, there's something that it's something that she's struggling to adjust to. But yeah, if this is like the first time she's had that kind of relationship with someone, then yeah, you would struggle to know what to do. I nearly said daylight robbery, but no, still night time. That's a lot. Well, I guess it's just making a joke about how common the name is. Yeah, it's a bit forthright to already get it to be like, oh, please help her out. But I think with the likes of mentioning, volunteer, I think the boss must have um, um, already think, oh, she's perhaps volunteering as well. Yeah, I'll go for the biscuits and no tea. I hope no tea has been made, otherwise that'll be wasted. Not to mention that kind of exchange reminds me of when I used to write my essays, and that I used to think, oh, what would be the right way to say that? Because you would have to, you do need to like think carefully with those wording, because with those wording, even though I'm doing it right now, I'm getting it mixed up anyway. Because I remember knowing someone who started off his formal essay or something by saying, "Oh, I would be so excited," and we were like, "No, you would say I would be looking forward to it." So yeah, it's just yeah, it's tricky to speak sometimes. But anyway, so they seem to have a family gathering, which probably happens every weekend, I presume, or is this the first time in a while? Oh, and it's celebrating that. Okay, so that's where they come up. They come together. Although I don't think they um, have these family meals an awful lot. Yeah, not very common. Oh, sadly got nothing on his plate. Yeah, the one with all of the Christmas lights. So yeah, this is a family dynamic that is not working. Yeah, they have so much to talk about, but it just looks like it's like things are settled, but not at the same time. It's past the operation, and even right here, she's talking about, yes, she's got a successful job, but um, that's a bit of a exaggeration. But anyway, so yeah, a successful job, but it's a job that as she's talked about, she didn't exactly want that job. Although I wonder what she would have wanted to do instead. And then, yeah, we've seen that hint in the first scene. Part of the sister's personality. And it's also the first time the parents have heard about this Alba. Marta, that's the name of the sister. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they've struggled to share the same room, which is a real shame. She just must have got bored, so she just felt like saying that to herself. Wait, is this Oh, okay, this must be like the closest pub to walking distance. Otherwise she would have been walking nearby her town where the Christmas store is at. Oh, okay, so that's, you know, showing her that she probably drinks too much. She probably like something that she uses as comfort. And she was all by herself as well. And yeah, that's all closed. So yeah, that's probably one reason why she was hesitant to knock. 2 days, really? Oh, we can. Um, He's aware of that. Okay. Yeah, it's almost like. Oh yeah, look, I think throughout the film, he almost comes when, or is around when Kate needs him. So yeah, of course, yeah, when he doesn't start coming up, that's where Kate starts to get a lot of her life back together, and yeah, it does seem to work a bit like that. Oh my god, yeah, she did walk all the way down to that town. Unless did she call yet another minicab service, or did she ask her dad to drive her up there? I don't think he will let her though, because it's quite late in the night and they know about what she goes up to, unhealthy habits. So they're at the apartment, and this is pretty much like the scene where they probably connect to the most. And not to mention, probably the second to last time, no, third to last time we see them together. Gosh. So he sits at her level, which is nice for him to do. Just he continues to be a good listener. And then this is where we finally admit, like what was her illness specifically. Yeah. I think what makes this film stand out is that unless I don't know about any other films, but this is where you do get a realistic enough depiction of what it can feel like to have a heart transplant. You must be thinking of all sorts, and not to mention possible effects as well. Are those Emilia's actual tattoos, or or is it just for the film? Oh no, I think it might be just jewellery. Yeah, just I thought she would have had tattoos on her fingers. So you could tell that scar is recent as well. Um, last couple of years, was it? Would it have been kept for research? Well, I guess it just depends. Yeah, I almost want to say this is probably my favourite scene because it just feels like a lot is clarified, a lot pays off, and yeah, it's like a proper turning point in the story. It's almost like another low point before the actual low point. Yeah, he's not wrong there. Yeah, because yeah, well, like when you like compare yourself to others, do you like struggle? Am I, you know, yeah, it just get to you just question yourself. Also, I just suddenly thought about the bike appearing with him as well. The reason I say that for those who watched the film, you might know what I mean. But if this is like your first time watching it, I'll wait to see what happens. It's just I've got a couple of questions about that bike. Yeah, it must be really hard for her. And they've just left and move on. They've had a good heart to heart, and now yeah, start bringing in some levity, which is yeah, they both need it. Well, one of you is lying down, but yeah. I think she must have drank a lot because she seems to be struggling to stand, and she does later fall asleep quite quickly, actually. Oh yes, he's been sensible then. To which, yeah, yeah. Not everyone can. Have you seen the X Factor? And it's over 10 year of history. Yeah, seems to be like a fair trade, especially if there's some things that they're putting on hold. When he was talking about, how it's close enough for now, and yeah, and he doesn't want to take advantage of her either, so he knows when to keep his distance. Not to mention how many George Michael tracks are in this film, and like both the playing and the references. I want to say like 13 as an eyeball, but I could be wrong. Something else I've thought about is that this film was released after Game of Thrones is finished, so that means that Emilia will be most likely in a more just a variety of roles. I'm actually looking forward to see what she appears in next, because Game of Thrones would have been something that she would have been in the most of, um, at the time. But she still managed to do the likes of Terminator Genesis, etc. So yeah, it'll be interesting waiting to see. And I wonder what else he's been in and how new of an actor he is. Yeah, not to mention he's had that look again. It's probably gone too far for him, or just not knowing, what to do. Because how could he reveal what he wants to say, despite how far they've connected? And she does seem to be a lot better. Well, feeling like better. So yeah, when oh, is this the? Oh God, yeah. Sorry, I don't have my headphones on. Is this the same song as earlier? I think. Oh, she's eating a bit more healthily as well. So yeah, it looks like she's starting to, um, something far nicer, something different to her routine. And this is also like another um, thing that's referenced, well, a subject that's referenced quite a few times. What is that? I feel like I have to look that up. It looks like she's got it. Is that their own design of the cups? What kind of room is she in? It just looks like a back of a warehouse. Oh, it looks like the windows are repaired. Yeah, if it's been like 2 or 3 days later, I could see it happening. Yeah, but yeah, despite connecting to each other earlier, especially when Kate was helping her with makeup, but yeah, looks like Santa's still a bit blown away about how she's like paying attention to, well, and making an effort as well. And so she's going to try and make her singing go into good use. Singing go into good use. I'm sorry for mixing up my words. So yeah, they seem to be appreciative so far that she's trying to help. Yeah, and Kate isn't put off by that. Yeah. If I was asked to do that, I would have to like bring my guitar, but at the same time, there's like 3 tracks I know off by heart, and I've been reading sheet music of about 90 tracks. So yeah, they're just gonna go back to work. Oh yeah, I reckon. Oh, he was either listening to it or he's probably been told about it. Oh, and that chap seems to be like, oh, got a good voice. There you go. And I think thanks to the poster she's made out of cardboard, yeah, she knows. Well, it's easy to see with her what she's doing this for. And there you go, first reward, and it pays off. Yeah, I think he doesn't know what to make of her so far, but that later changes. But yeah, she's yeah, it's just something purposeful, something that seems to make her happy, and yeah, it's some very nice things for Katie to do. Yeah, so he's yeah, he seems to be a bit unimpressed, although yeah, he just his perspective of why. Yeah, because is it a thing where you sometimes have a mint before like the end of the day or something? So she's still wondering um why she's like so like positive and lit up. Oh, there you go. And then we do see how much well what their current position is like now, and yeah, they're and yeah, now they're exchanging gifts and they're able to communicate a lot better. Yeah, she'll need to place that in a special place because she definitely wouldn't want to sell it. She definitely wants her own space, and the bloke likes to sing as well. And yeah, then we get on to a montage. And yeah, are those 2 policewomen like assigned to look around this area? Is that why we see them quite a lot? Oh, unless this has been like a good few days over time, and then this is just like the first day back in this area for them. I'm not sure. So, oh my, yeah, that's like 5 times more compared to the last attempt. How many swear words have you had to this film now? um. Oh yeah. What? Unless I've missed something, what got them this idea? Because I did. Kate suggest this idea. Did they all gather to think of an idea like this? Something that would help the home. Because aside from being a just a very nice event, for this town, I think it is like an always to get more money for this place, wouldn't it? Although, did this place had like financial problems in the first place? Um, there might have been a line or two about it. So yeah, good. A lot of them have skills. Oh yeah, what's that breed of dog over there? Yeah, looks like the place allows dogs. So yeah, it looks like it's been absent for a long time. Also, something that me and one of my acquaintances were thinking about is that because of finding out about Tom, me and him, we had the idea of them two probably might get together, probably like a good amount of time after the events of this film. I can see that happening because they do bounce off like quite well, and they both seem to, like helping the homeless and that. So yeah, I could see that happening. Is this the first time she said hi, or to that certain bloke or anyone in this area? Oh yeah, not to mention, yeah, no, I think it is the first time because yeah, I think it's the first time she's been back in this area. Yeah, second time. Yeah, we visited the area. Sorry, that's a bit repetitive. Yeah, reminds me of one of my funny my essay lines actually, where I've accidentally ever explained something. Actually, I'll say it very quickly because I kept saying things like, "Oh, the camera goes around from the front of the house to the side of the house," and then when it was going briefly, they were like, "Jonathan, that's too much explanation." Anyway, they've seen each other, and yeah, it looks like Kate has made a good guess for um for where Tom would be at, and so yeah, it looks like she's like ready to make that kind of bond. Although yeah, he does need to admit something. He doesn't actually get around to stating what it is, but um, although I think she does manage to guess, like, because yeah, that guess right there, it's partially right, but due to a different reason that she's thinking. Yeah, and not to mention, yeah, I think she has been looking for him way more because of how little there was going on, but because of how active she's been, it's become more of a background thought. So she's become, um, it's a bit more independent, but you can see why she would have been offended by saying, "Oh, you said anything about depending." It's just something that she's probably trying to deny. Although she does find out the answer in her own way, which I guess does that make him. I nearly said something, but I won't spoil it just in case this is your first time. Croatian, so that's the language they speak. Okay, that's what the subtitles say. Yeah, it's like so far, Kate's been helping the homeless, but now she's doing yet another good deed. Help them to feel more included, and she's used her full name this time, so it's another step into her finding herself. And then she does this as well. I wonder what if this feels like a. Oh, is it because after talking to Dento, I reckon at the bus, did that make her think? Oh, maybe I could do with reconnecting with someone. And yeah, going for Marta is a um yeah, it's honourable of her to have a try. Because it's been a good few days, so you would assume that things are settled, but it looks like there's still tension. Oh yeah, she's probably listened to all of that. Although she's willing for another chance. Oh, not quite. Well, I think they're okay, but yeah, but Marta's definitely not ready to see her parents yet. So yeah, Kate just feels a bit disappointed there, like slightly pushed away. So yeah, she's yeah. I feel like the bus scene should have happened like later because it eventually becomes like a happier scene. Um, but I think that scene helps her choose to try and see Martin, try and apologize, um, because it's gone from the argument with Tom to the bus scene, and then see Marta, which was also like another minor low point for her, and then this happened. Oh, oh actually no. No. I think it's fine. I think, like I said about how it influences choices. I think that's why that was in. Anyway, so it looks like them two have got on even more. Yeah, clearly, and trying to go for topics like that. Oh, that's a bit sudden. Although it looks like she's well, nearly thinking um of not wanting to see him again. But um but yeah, they might meet again and might get on. Yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. Well, at this point of the film. What's that on the TV? Is that Blackadder? I might be wrong. And they're quite um yeah, I feel like them two are getting on a bit more as well because earlier she was just like, oh, just want to sleep and that's it, and not really wanting to chat with her mum. But it looks like sorry, that's my alarm. But yeah, they've started to reconnect in some way. So we understand more of her perspective on that subject. Oh, yeah, and so they decided to get out and about because she did visit those stands earlier. Now she wants to chat with her mum. You make her feel like scrap that. Just more like you're just learning a bit more about England because I reckon she's been mostly in the house for quite a long time. So yeah, it will do good for her to explore, new experiences and that. And I felt like Kate's doing like more of that exploring herself. There must be like testers. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that is the necklace we have seen many times. And if she often wears it, yeah, she'll know it's from her. And what's her reaction again? Oh, he's just smiling a bit, so it's just yet another thing. And so yeah, this is where yeah, they're exchanging gifts. Yeah, definitely adds to the Christmas feel. Yeah, yeah. Because when I watch these Christmas films, I do think how Christmassy are they? And there's uh, there's bits and bobs every now and again. We've seen decorations, and I suppose you could say how they all getting on with one another and the sense of community like that. You can definitely count that's a Christmas thing. And I guess George Michael's associated with Christmas. Yeah, I would say that. So, yeah, it is just something interesting to have an interesting thought, I suppose. Yeah, so she's started to get on better with all of those people, and now she's going to try again with Tom. I wonder what's happened in his mad day. Looks like other properties have been affected or something. So yeah, he thinks that he's just showing the place around for her, but she's a bit lost. Okay, yeah, she's trying to understand what's going on. And then, yeah, look at that. Yeah, yeah, that actor has also appeared in a whole heap of things. He was in a Vera episode once. I am mentioning a lot of TV shows, certain ones every now and again, aren't I? If it was, then I don't think the place would be as tidy. So that's where we pretty much get the twist of the story, and also what happened to him. And I wonder what that argument was about. Yeah, that could be anything. I have a couple of guesses, but yeah, like I said, yeah, I'm just thinking of all sorts for why that could have happened. So yeah, Tom has one of those, which helps Kate. That's the doctor we saw earlier. So at the moment, she's looking back on those experiences. Yeah, definitely, probably one of the most dramatic experiences of her life. Yeah, she's definitely into her phase of grieving, and then that's where she starts to look back at all sorts. So yeah, a couple of things I was thinking of. So yeah, with the bus stop late earlier, which this montage doesn't show, that means that she's been probably um, talking to with no one on her right, and yeah, talking on her own there. Although even if you don't see what they're like near the bus stop, we can still infer it, and then you can infer that as well. And then you later find out about how they're able to interact. And oh yeah, the bike. I was just wondering if that appears with him, unless is it like unless did he like keep the bike in some way? Would that be? Oh, I don't know, but it would have been like wrecked in the crash. So yeah, I reckon the bike would have to be spawned. Although, would he also have his own um his own lock, when parking the bike? Yeah, sorry for asking those questions, because yeah, I think in films like that, that's where that doesn't matter much, because you can, I think, what I've said you can infer, and yeah, not to mention this is an extremely nice moment. So yeah, Tom knows that she knows, and this is pretty much the last chat they have, but one that will definitely stick with her, and it gives her more motivation to look after herself and also just do everything else and make everything else better for her. There you go. That answers that. like even despite what they found out, would they still chat with one another every now and again, or is this like one of those cases of where she needs to what because the what she needed to learn was to look after herself and yeah, and just get everything sorted to make her happier, etc. Um, so it was almost like Tom needed to be around for her to get even more better. Because the operation went well, but her happiness in that is all well was all downwards, and um, so yeah, and the way they had in that final exchange, yeah, she's definitely gonna hang on to those words. Oh, and it started to actually snow. Some areas are starting to get more snowy. Not to mention, the bench it was just showing. I guess I guess you can infer why Kay didn't see that sign on the bench, because of they would have been looking at each other as they were sitting down, because they don't always catch your eye. So yeah, we can assume that's been there all that time. So yeah, this is definitely a good few days later, and we're literally seeing everyone amongst a whole heap of other people as well. And not yeah, and in some interaction between all of those characters as well. They're just simply getting on, but they're all together because of her. She must be wearing like a battery. When people have these portable guitar amps, because they have a battery, and yeah, she must have some well, like a battery pack of some kind, to um, have her own lights on. So yeah, she helped with the hospitality. That's good for her. So yeah, she's like a good cook. So that's definitely another part of the mum. Oh, is the battery pack in that pouch behind her? That actress had a bob. She has much longer hair in the other film she's appeared in. So this must make her. Would this be before the other two? Yes. This was 2017 or 18, this film is. I kind of forgot. Anyway, so that was like a really nice speech, really showing her change as a person, and not to mention the um the events do line up with the song quite well, because if that was going to be the title of the film, um, then it does create the question, is that going to have connection to the song? Then if so, how can you do that? Um, and yeah, we can definitely see how this is like this song could be seen as her theme for this specific film. So they help have lights as well, which is yeah. Oh yeah, something else I've thought about is that in the hall when they're going all through those auditions, um, yeah, do they pass everyone? Unless it's just seeing how everyone plays. Oh no, because they then go on to individual acts. Okay, yeah, that's been the point of it. Which I probably would like to see quick snippets of for it to pay off. But regardless, we can see about how all of their talents, come together to, um, create a rather cool performance. And yeah, not to mention the parents of finally getting on well again. I feel like there you go. Yeah, that's the other member of Wham for those who did or didn't know. Yeah, I forgot his name. He's the synth player. A rather good one at that, actually. Looking back. Yeah, yeah. I feel like I would have liked to see more, a couple of moments in between of like the mum and the dad like reconnecting. Um, oh yeah, that must be. Was that Linda bus stop as well? You know, another memory she was looking back on. Um, but yeah, despite my suggested improvement, um, if I tell you what, it's reminiscent of the first scene of the film. You know, they're watching her perform. You know, it's going back to a familiar time where her performing and just admiring her talent. It seems to be what brings her family together. But at this point, it's just brought a lot of people together, and then they get to finally meet, and yeah, she's settled in quite well, and the house is like a lot more brighter as well. Yeah, I'm just happy that everyone's happier. Yeah, because at first they're like, "Oh, please, no singing," but they do later go for a song that all of them can enjoy. And surprisingly, she's not offended. But well, when they start singing again, that's where she's fine. Oh, yeah, it is Christmas Day, of course it is. Yeah, I wonder what the lyrics are. Yeah, because I'm sure once you find out about them, it probably like ties to like the themes of the film, etc. And yeah, I think we're at the last scene, so she starts writing something. Could be like a diary or somewhere for her to gather her thoughts. And yeah, look, and she's made herself where like far more presentable. Yeah, and a far different clothing style as well. There we go, and that was the end of the film. I better turn subtitles off, yeah, for the DVD player. Alright, so yeah, that was that film. So I think to clarify first, why I didn't like this in the first place, and the film in the first place, and it's because, well, no, sorry, in the first watch through, and I think it was just because I thought it was going to be, a bit more familiar when watching other rom-com films, because I've seen a good load, and all of them, were, of course, there's all of them had like different premises in that, but like the style of dialogue and with all of it being, set in the real world, I think that's where. Um, Hang on, did I subtitle off? Sorry, there you go. Sorry, I wondered what was happening then. Actually, I better stop the film as well. So let's just get that out. Okay. And alright, sorry. Hang on. Yeah, so yeah, when it then came to watching the film, I just remember thinking, this is so unfamiliar. We love that the dialogue style and that, and I feel like it wasn't quite like my humour because a lot of the time I was just, yeah, I think I just didn't know what to make of it. But I think when watching it again, um, it is just understanding what kind of humour it has because you like the dialogue, the jokes, the exchanges. That yeah, it is something that I don't know how to describe it. It has like a quirkiness to the dialogue which really stands out, and I would say stands out in a very good way. And yeah, I'm just gonna get everything sorted. And oh yeah, not to mention, because something else that kind of put me off at first is that when you find out about Tom, I just remember thinking, oh, they just introduced something supernatural far later. But you actually do get foreshadowing hints, and in those all of those flashbacks of her looking back, that's like the film, um, explaining what it was like all of this time. Um, so yeah, and there's like enough setup in there, and just because something ends up being supernatural, it doesn't mean that. But I guess as long as it's set up enough and with what it's aiming to do, then it's evidently fine because looks because the film has a rather good through line, and the film and not to mention the film it does like switch locations a lot because especially how she goes from what was it again, on the bus, then the sister's home, and then to the bar, and then back to work, and so forth. Like it switches locations quite a lot. It's like one of those films where it's like set in, just like one grand location of London. You just go in and out of various areas. Because I think because when you watch other films, you always watch for where characters go, and you're often explained why they're going there. Um, but we even understand why she goes to these places. Even if I miss something, I can still see why. And not only because of reasons, but also means of travel. Like, granted, I don't know how she walked away from her home and then ended up in that town of London again, but whatever part of London it was. In fact, shall we find out actually? Which part of London is Last Christmas set? Um, um, okay, I don't think Google's going to help. Never mind. It's just London, and that's enough to know. And so it's covered all sorts, but I think what's like the film seems to capture not only like multiple themes, but you can see how they like combine in um in ways because um because if just looking at Kate, for instance, she's gone through the evacuation, then the operation, and the effects of it, and seeing how it affects her and her family members, and how she communicates with others, and then through her own actions, she makes them, um, she just um, mends a lot, and it's only thanks to Tom who um, the areas seem to quite inspire her. And not to mention, I think when you do start connecting with someone, I think that's where it does light up a load of ideas in your head. Just like wondering. I think when you're thinking more positively as well, I think that's where you start to think of like more solutions, and I think that's where you like start to make more of an effort as well, because she clearly wasn't making an effort with anything until helping the homeless shelter, and trying to apologize to her sister, and she even like admitted defeat a good few times, because like for instance, so when she was talking to Albo, she was like, oh, I reckon we'll never get to know one another. She was never expecting that kind of get together, but the get together happens, which is extremely nice. Yeah, there one's in a very nice new position at the end of the film. And hang on one second. Okay, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, let's start talking about. Let's see. Let's start talking about the characters, I would say, because I think one thing that every character has in common is just many types of people that Kate does need to connect with again, and and there's quite a variety. There's her family that definitely needed to communicate, and work things through, which they eventually do, and then a load of mates which she's knew for quite a while, and even Santa, her boss. Okay, yeah, that seems to be like one of the other. Oh, I don't know. You can kind of, well, aside as well as the family. Yeah, I think she also represents how how with how Kate doesn't make much of an effort, etc. with making herself feel better. You can see how that affects Santa, and the job around that they're both doing. But then you later see that change, and yeah, I think it's just more about them two more, and not as much with the shop. That's just more the setting and a common interest, because if anything, the fake break-in, that was like part of a consequence, and they avoided. Yeah, definitely no more of that, which is rather good. And I really like the relationship between Kate and Tom as well. It's definitely a dynamic that stands out, and you can see how the progression. Because Kate finds it off-putting at first, but over time, sorry, just losing my breath a bit. Yeah, they actually get into proper conversations, and then some activities, um, they share a deep insight as well. So yeah, because I think they span like a total about 7 scenes, but you can just see the progress it does for not only the story but for them too as well, and um, and all of the things with the homeless shelter, because with the auditioning, that's her trying to um, do something for herself. But what she eventually learns is that while she can, show off her talent, she needed to do it with more purpose, especially when it will have more very long term payoff for her later on. And so yeah, we can assume that she'll continue helping that area. It could be like a second job for her, or she might get into or an edition or something like that later on, and maybe do some charity for the homeless as well. I can somewhat see that happening. It just depends how these kind of systems work. Yeah, and you do get to see no, just lost a thought there. Um, but yeah, I think in the end, yeah, it's just when covering the likes of those on the bus and the homeless, it has the film definitely comments about the sense of inclusion and community, and oh yeah, because Mia what Kate does for the two of them on the bus, she manages to do on a large scale. Well, and as I say with helping mend her family, once again she just managed to fix a whole heap of connections, and um, yeah, and I think the other thing to talk about is that when she talks about like wondering about her place in all of this and how she feels like she's getting nowhere. It's it is just some very very reminiscent, because I just have moments where I look back and get disappointed, and you're just wondering how you got to this point, and and the way in that scene where Kate and Tom connect in the flat. It's just they just have a lot of truth to it, and like I said, the way she talks about the effects after the operation, because you'd think, oh, everything's fine, but it's not always is. It just takes more time, and I just felt like so very good realistic depiction of it. and yeah, and I suppose we'll round up about the George Michael tracks there placed at very suitable times, and yeah, I like the placement of them. I like the lot. When I listen to those tracks, I kind of feel like they make me think of the film, really. Not to mention, because they involve both Wham and George Michael only tracks, but they didn't have Careless Whisper in that one at all, despite possibly being the most referenced track. But not gonna lie, I don't know where it's going to be placed. And not to mention, I feel like that has like a place in like meme culture, and that's I wonder if the people, those who were making the film, they were either unsure whether to place the song or they just thought, yeah, that one often gets mocked by modern generations because the exact same thing is what people like to reference all the time, and not to mention it's appeared in a load of YTPs as well. So it's a song that, yeah, granted it's like a very well done track, but with it being memed like that, it just kind of undermines it, which is like a real shame because the saxophone riff is, rather iconic and it's a quite well done track. Oh, yeah, not to mention they play it in the credits of Deadpool, so it's like made into, being made less serious as well. Which just makes you wonder where else it's been used. And although not to mention, yeah, the Last Christmas track itself, it's definitely played loads. I really like the track, to this day. Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, it's a very good one. And yeah, because I thought it was referenced in the film too many times, but no, it's only about five, and yeah, they play the official version at the start, and I think then it was kind of used to help introduce the title of the film. But then when you see her perform the song, that's where it kind of has more relevance. So I think at the start it's almost like um almost like a setup for what the story is going to be about. And I guess you'll like wonder, oh, does the song have relevance to the film? And then later find out that there's definitely things in common. Yeah, you can definitely make some connections and so forth. Um, so yeah, I think that's one way to look at it. But yeah, I was just thinking, yeah, I was trying to think if that one, Last Christmas, did their song ever get played in other Christmas films? And I want to say no, unless it's been in the background somewhere. So it looks like this film will definitely, um, yeah, like, it's like once again when thinking about this film, you can, um, yeah, you can definitely associate it with that film because yeah, there has been like not an issue per se, but when there's a very common select set of tracks, they get chosen for all sorts of films, and sometimes you hear the track and you're like, oh, I remember first hearing it from this film first, therefore I associate it with that. But when you're like listening to other films, you then just wonder, which song do I associate it with? Which film did justice to the song the most? Because I think, to give an example, Mr. Blue Sky, I actually first heard of that song in the Magic Roundabout, or Dougal as it's sometimes called, yeah, a animated film which you might have heard about. Because I remember when first, I think to this day I kind of see the film when that song plays, in the flashback scene. Yeah, I think it was a flashback. And you can see how like really suits it. But then Megamind also plays that song, and you can see how it suits that film too. But it just brings up the question. Well, not really a question, but you just kind of, I don't know. I think your head just goes in all sorts of directions, being like, oh, which film would this like, represent? Because yeah, not to mention because there's this, where pop songs, do actually become theme songs for certain films. Like the Berlin's track for Top Gun, well, the original one back in '86. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's where even if it gets referenced in other films, you can definitely associate it with that film. But I think yeah, just the main point is that yeah, definitely go for more original tracks, hits or not, and and Yeah, it will definitely do a lot of justice for those songs. Because yeah, I say the first three Guardians films, yeah, I think they do well with introducing a whole heap of songs you never heard before, and yeah, when you do listen to the large amount of those songs, yeah, definitely associate it with those three films. And not to mention Infinity War, that Spinners track is fantastic, and oh yeah, even Endgame had a couple as well. Um, so yeah, oh yeah, looks like Guardians has multiple tracks. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, that when you listen to it and you just like, oh yes, I first heard of it from that film. And yeah, and there's Cobra Kai as well. It definitely has some lesser popular choices, which yeah, I do think about that show when hearing those songs. Yeah. Anyway, that was a bit of a long rant. A long rant, wasn't it? So yeah, I think I'll start right there. I think I did start getting into a bit of a loop, but um, yeah, you can just yeah, just follow through very nicely. I like some of the filmmaking choices. Does have some really nice shots. I like how the nighttime is lit, and um, yeah, and all of the characters are definitely full of personality. You could definitely tell which because it has a whole heap of background people, but because even though the different types of connections, you can um, uh, what was I saying? Yeah, just a whole heap of different types of connections, and you can also just see which kind of connections need to fix in more than others. For instance, you don't see the mate very often, but you do see her boss and her family way more often, for obvious reasons. Yeah, of course, you would definitely need to, fix those kind of connections more. Oh, yeah, not to mention, yeah, the comedy. Like I said, it's just in my first watch through the film, I just didn't know what to make of them, but I really like all of the lines that do what make me laugh, and I think it did take me more time to warm them up, but yeah, I just really like this film across. And yeah, there was like a couple of things I got confused about, but yeah, I think this is extremely solid. And yeah, part of this script was, well, I say part of it. One of the writers was Emma Thompson herself, and yeah, if yeah, it just makes me curious about what else she's written or what she's going to write. Yeah, I think that'll be really exciting because uh, yeah, she seems to be very good at it. Yeah, creating all of a whole collection of um, of a very like a whole set of character variety, I suppose you could say. Oh yeah, not to mention, despite Martin not wanting, being keen on the job she has, it looks like she's kept it or accepted it. Um, to which could that be going for the idea of, because Kate didn't never passed an audition in this film, and yet she's managed to find something that she still enjoyed. But does that mean that Marta eventually got on with the job she got the job she got? Did she eventually get on with it? What about the dad's job as well? That's just something that I just thought about. But I think we can all make some kind of guesses. But the most important things that needed addressing do get fixed, and that's absolutely the main point, isn't it? Um, and I think that's all I got to say. I think there was still some really nice score pieces as well. Like the one I like the most is where she goes at the back of the bus and she watches Tom slowly walk away on the pavement. Yeah, I remember liking a couple of pieces like that, and yeah, it has very nice a real good colour scheme from time to time. Well, no, just a fairly good one. Just it's either the day is very nicely lit up, or the night is like very glowing from time to time. Very glowing from time to time. I'm not sure that makes sense. But yeah, I think I've covered everything. Yeah, it's rather solid. Definitely rewatchable. And I think yeah, definitely a top tier one. Yeah, it's definitely one I've found the least issues with. And not to mention, this is definitely one of the only films where I dislike at first and eventually really like later on. How I'll even say I love the film. um, yeah, I think we'll stop it right there, shall we? And yeah, hope you enjoyed the film and that. And yeah, I'll see you another time.